Hey guys, it's Artster here, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I thought I could tell you a bit about how my Mod 2 test went. So if you're already subscribed to the channel, you'll know that I did my Mod 2 test about a month ago. So I did the direct access scheme, I did my Mod 1, my Mod 2, and then I got my full license. So luckily in my Mod 1 test, I managed to get a perfect pass, so I was really happy about that. But in my Mod 2 test, I did actually get 2 minors. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what happened, talk you through the day, so that you get a kind of a feel for it if you're about to do your Mod 2 test too. And yeah, if you keep watching the video, then you'll find out how I managed to get these minors, and then maybe you can avoid making the same mistakes I did when you do your test. So yeah, I met my instructor at the driving school, and then we made our way down to the test centre. So I was able to get about an hour's practice on the way there. I was actually on a different bike from what I learnt on, and I was a bit worried that would affect me. So I turned up to a test centre, and it was actually the same guy who did my Mod 1 test who was taking me out for the Mod 2. He's a really nice guy. Like, I can tell he deliberately wants to make you feel as relaxed as possible, and then you have to basically go in and talk to him, show him that you've passed Mod 1, show him a few other bits of paperwork. He'll put it all into like this iPad he's got, and then once he's done that, he'll say he'll set you up with a radio, and then he'll tell you to go and get on the bike and wait for him to come out. And he came out, I was waiting on the bike, and then he basically said, you know, go on, let's set off and go on a journey. So we left the test centre. I tried to remember that I was in test conditions right from the get-go, so doing all my observations, even when I just came into the car park before the test, you know, just trying to remember to take it seriously because you don't want to do any silly mistakes at the beginning. And I've heard that's quite common. I think a lot of people can be quite nervous at the beginning, so it's more likely you'll make a silly mistake as you're leaving the test centre. So like I always say, it's best to just take it easy, take it slow, don't rush. So that's what I tried to do. So we left the test centre, and he was just giving me instructions through the headset. And then a bit into the journey, I think it was only like 5 minutes in, he said, right, we're going to do some independent riding now, so I need you to follow the signs to wherever. So I can't remember what I said now. It was somewhere near Nottingham. That's what I did. I just followed the signs, and then as I was riding, I was being really careful of my speed, you know, trying to clock where all the speed signs were. Something you learn on the direct access scheme or in your motorcycle lessons, the instructor will tell you that anytime you're going to speed up or slow down, you want to do your observations. So I was trying to do that. So like if I saw I was going into a 30 zone, then I would just quickly look in my mirrors, make sure there's no one like tailgating me really close, and then I'd start to slow down and make sure that I was at the right speed as I crossed over into that 30 zone. The same with leaving the 30 zone, so you want to make sure you just check your mirrors and try not to speed up until you actually pass the sign. So I did the independent ride, and that was all fine. So part of the test, he took me through quite a busy built-up area, and so this is where I somehow managed to get the first minor. But being completely honest, I don't actually remember doing this. I mean, I believe the examiner, like I was concentrating on a lot of different things, so I probably just forgot. But I was coming out of some sort of junction, turning left, and for whatever reason I just took it really wide. I almost went into the other side of the road. Yeah, he said that was a minor essentially. And then for my other minor, I definitely do remember it because I actually thought I might have failed the test for it, so I'll tell you about that in a second. But yeah, we did some more driving, and then he told me to pull over, and what he wanted me to do was for angled start. So he'll ask you to pull over a few times in the test, but this for me was the most memorable one. And it would say like basically pull up near that car. The trick is not to get too close to it, so you've got room to move out, and as you stop you want to already have your wheel at the angle so that you can get out. So I did that, that was all fine. We did some more driving and kind of ended up in some bits that were a bit less built up. I wouldn't say it was the countryside, but it was close. The roads were a bit faster as well. And then we went back into a built up area as we made our way back to the test centre. So at this point, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, right, I'm sure I haven't done anything wrong yet. I mean, maybe I picked up a minor here and there. I didn't realise I'd done that first minor at all. And so this is how I got the second minor. I was coming up towards the roundabout. As I came to the roundabout, you could either go left or right. There was no straight over. Opposite the roundabout, where it would have been straight over, was a really busy high street, and on the high street was a van, a bit like this one that's reversing into this drive, and it was really slow moving traffic. So I got to the front of the queue, I was doing my observations, mainly focusing right because that's where I was going to get the gap to come onto the roundabout. I did look left every now and then, and when I was looking left, everything looked fine. I didn't notice any hazards or anything like that. So I looked right, I saw that there was a gap and I could get out. I started to drive out, and then a van, pretty much the same time I drove out, this van put his reverse lights on and just started pulling back off a high street. But I'd already gone and committed, and I was on the roundabout. So from my point of view, I thought the best thing to do was just carry on and nip around the back of him. But because of that, it was considered a fault, like a minor fault, which I found out at the end. And what the examiner said was I should have just waited, I shouldn't have nipped round the back. But it wasn't a serious fault. He just said he'd give me a minor because he realised like it was an observation thing, rather than, I think he realised I hadn't seen it. It wasn't like I saw it and then decided to go. And so straight after that happened, as I was going back to the test centre, in my head I was thinking, oh no, like I've actually messed it up right near the end and I failed this. I'm gonna have to go and do it again. But in my head I thought, right, I shouldn't give up now. I should still like concentrate and try not to do anything else wrong, just in case I have actually passed. And then luckily, thank God, as I got to the test centre, I pulled up, we turned the bikes off. Over the radio he said, right, congratulations, I'm happy to tell you passed. So I was over the moon, really chuffed with that. I thought, thank God, because I actually thought I'd failed it. And then when he took me in to debrief, my instructor came in as well, and he just explained to me how I got those 2 minors. So I hope you guys found that useful. I'm about to go on the motorway to Manchester to go and test drive that bike, so sound quality won't be great, so I might end the video here. But yeah, feel free to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.